The difference between my brother and I is that I also love women and think clothes are a good weapon to show, here I am, look at me. But for me, it's not look at me, I'm so gorgeous. But for me, it is not look at me, I'm so gorgeous. But look at me, I have something to say. Natural? What is natural? She asks. I do not believe in totally natural for women. For me, natural has something to do with vegetables. I don't even know what my natural hair color is. Here we go. Stand by, please. Rolling on six. On
You're
six.
quite good.
Yeah, here we go. Welcome to a new episode of the Celebrity Archaeology Podcast, sponsored in part by the Built on Dreams Media Network and contributions from listeners like you. I'm your host, Adam Scull. If this is the first time listening to the podcast, welcome. If you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back. Our goal is to preserve the cultural heritage of celebrity photography from decades past for the benefit of future generations. Pull up a comfortable chair, hang out with us, and have a great time reminiscing about your favorite stars. A natural-looking Donatella Versace, photographed by John Barrett in 1988. At this time, she was her brother Gianni's biggest supporter in his fashion line and was by his side when he established his label. Her brother's murder in front of his Miami mansion in July of 1997 would change her life and career. Donatella, who has enhanced her appearance with rumored Botox treatments, a puffier lower lip, and possible jawbone implants, still maintains the year-round tan and blonde locks. But she seems to be more of a caricature of her true self in appearance today. Natural? What is natural? She asks. I do not believe in totally natural for women. For me, natural has something to do with vegetables. I don't even know what my natural hair color is. Before his death, Versace gave Donatella her own fashion line, Versace, and named a perfume after her called Blonde. Today, she is known as the Queen of the Versace Empire, and her designs have kept the fashion label afloat. Her friends and fashion supporters include Demi Moore, Madonna, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Jennifer Lopez, Beyoncé, and many others. She said in an interview with the Daily Mail, "After Gianni died, I wanted to follow my own instincts, but wasn't confident enough. I created this tough image, but inside I was vulnerable. You cannot show your pain to the public. If I were to lose it, everyone else around me would lose it too." Upon Gianni's death, he willed 50% share of the company to Donatella's 11-year-old daughter Allegra. Donatella has a 20% share, and Gianni's older brother has a 30% share. Donatella currently serves as vice president of the Versace Group as well as its chief designer. Donatella recently announced that she will no longer use real animal fur in her designs. Fur? I'm out of that, she said. I don't want to kill animals to make fashion. It doesn't feel right. The fashion designer is currently single after 2 divorces. Her first husband was model Paul Beck, who is the father of her 2 children, Allegra and Daniel. She also married and divorced Italian businessman Manuel Delori. She told the New York Times in 2017, "The difference between my brother and I is that I also love women and think clothes are a good weapon to show, here I am, look at me. But for me, it is not look at me, I'm so gorgeous. But look at me, I have something to say." In 2004, a rather frail Donatella entered rehab after an intervention conducted by Elton John and her daughter Allegra. She had been battling an 18-year-old addiction to cocaine. After her stay in rehab, Donatella said, "I have all new habits. My day is totally different." Thanks for joining me today for the Celebrity Archaeology Podcast, brought to you in part by the Built on Dreams Media Network. I hope you have found the content I've shared memorable and enjoyable. Be sure to visit celebrityarchaeology.com to see many of our photos and pick up the link to the podcast. Love this episode of the podcast? Head over to iTunes to subscribe so you're always up to date on the latest episode. Rate and leave a review and tell your friends about this podcast. We appreciate your iTunes review. It's so valuable to a content producer leaving a 5-star rating and/or a written review. If you would like to be a guest on the podcast and get in front of thousands of listeners, send an elevator pitch email to me at celebrityarchaeology@gmail.com. Join us next time for the Celebrity Archaeology Podcast and learn about the lives of your favorite celebrities.